Okay guys, so welcome back to my video. As you can tell, I have my baby and I'm not pregnant anymore.
If you will tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream.
So today I am going to be doing a birth vlog and introducing my beautiful son. And let's just get ready, book. Let's just get into the video. Okay guys, so October 27th at 5:16 p.m. this little munchkin was born. So me and Ever had to be at the hospital at 2:30 and I was so scared. I kept my calm the whole time. So we had to check in and then we went up to the room and they came in, they were like taking blood, taking lots of tests. I got into one of those hospital gowns and then 4 o'clock came and they brought in Ever scrubs and they said, "Dad, you have to put this on for when you go into the procedure room because he was breech." So I had to get a C-section done. So they left after they gave Ever his scrubs and then at 4:30 they came back. And they had me in a gown already, they had Ever in his scrubs already. And they were like, "Okay, we're ready for you in the surgical room." And that is when I started to bawl. I have never, I think I cried literally like a baby. Like, I cried so bad because I was so nervous. So I was crying so much then. I had cords coming out of my arms because they had me hooked up to a bunch of different IVs that Ever tied my hair up for me and they were like, "Do you want to take your glasses off?" And I was like, "I can't really see without them. Is there any way I could keep them on?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I literally hugged Ever so tight and I was like, "I don't want to go. I'm so scared. I'm so scared." He's like, "You're gonna be okay. I'll be there in a little bit." So they have to take me and prep me and he can't be in the room. They like talk to him and they prep him while they're prepping me. So I walked down the hallway with my gown on and a bunch of IVs coming on my arm and they bring me into this really cold room. It's an all white room with like lots of equipment in it and the room's freezing. They have to keep the room cold to like prevent like germs from like forming and like bacteria. It's okay. It's okay. And they bring me over to this table and they sit me down and they have to put I forget what it's called, this needle in your back that pretty much numbs you from like below the boob down so you can't feel a thing. And he had to put it in my back and like, "Okay, we're gonna do a practice one." He's like just pushing against the spine of my back and he's like, "You can't move while I do this. It's very important that you don't move." Why you can't move, I'm not really sure. I didn't ask, but I was still crying in the room. And so the doctor that came in, Dr. Belkema, she was talking to me and he was like, "Okay, we're gonna put the needle in," the guy that was behind me. And I went to look and he's like, "Don't look," and he pushed my head forward. So I'm leaning over the table because you have to lean like with all your force, so there's like a lot of pressure on your back. And he stuck the needle in and I felt, this might be a little TMI, but I felt like an electric shock like in my cooch. And I moved, I jumped, and he's like, "You can't move, you can't move." Luckily I didn't do anything. And then he moved, like he took the needle out of my back and you start to feel it right away. You're starting to get numb, like your legs feel tingly and everything. And so right away they're like, "We have to lay her down, like lay her down now." So they laid me down on the table and he must have poked me with something sharp and he goes, "I'm assuming you didn't feel that." And I said, "No." And he's like, "Okay, we're gonna start the procedure." So they bring Ever in and they turn on some music. And Ever said that when he came in, all he saw were a bunch of doctors surrounding me. He didn't see me. But you're laying on a table that's kind of like a workout bench. It's like super thin and you just lay there and there's two trays coming out of the bench for your arms. And so I'm laying on that table and Ever comes behind me. And like I said, the room is cold. All I'm in is a gown. So they put a lot of warm towels on me. And in the moment, the warm towels feel so good just because you're freezing. And so Ever comes behind me and he's like, "We're about to have a baby, Miss Sam, we're about to have a baby." I was like, oh my god. And I'm still freaking out a little bit, but I haven't cried. I'm just trying to like talk myself calm. I'm like, "Okay, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay." And so all of a sudden, I guess they started because I heard one of the doctors say, "First incision made." And I was like, oh my god, Ever, oh my god. And I obviously started to cry again because I am absolutely terrified of surgery. It amazes me that I went through this C-section. And it feels weird. You feel a lot of like tugging and pushing and pulling. You don't feel any pain though, it just feels weird. And Ever's talking to me, he's trying to calm me down. He's like, "When we leave here, we're gonna have a baby. This is so exciting. you're gonna get to see him soon, it's gonna all be over soon, you're gonna be okay. And within the first 5, it felt short, I don't know how long it actually was, but it felt like 5 or 10 minutes, we hear them say, "We have a foot." And I looked at Ever, I was like, and Ever looked at me and he's like, "We have a foot, Miss Sam, we have a foot." He calls me Miss Sam because I used to work at a preschool and all the kids call me Miss Sam, so it's kind of like a joke. And he's like, "We have a foot, we have a foot," and we're both smiling at each other, we're so happy. And then I felt more, like, I felt like I could breathe, but like, I couldn't breathe. It felt like when I was breathing, like, when I took a deep breath, it just went through me. I couldn't really catch my breath. And I said to Ever, "I feel like I can breathe, but like, I can't breathe." And then, so after, when I finally got the feeling that I could breathe again without it going right through me, it felt like a giant load had been lifted off my chest. Like, I could tell they took him out of me. And then all of a sudden, I hear 5:16. The baby was born at 5:16. And I was like, oh my god. And then he starts crying. Like, I hear him wailing, crying. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, we have him. And Ever was like, "We have him, Miss Sam, we have him, our baby's born." And the second I heard him start to cry, I started to cry. And they run him over and they put him on my chest. What's wrong? And they put him on my chest. And the first thing they said to you is, it's very important to make skin-to-skin contact because that's the first contact your child feels besides the doctors taking him out. They hadn't even cleaned him yet. They had just literally took him out of me. And they're like, "Okay, Mom, do you want to give him a kiss or something? Because we're going to go take him to get cleaned up." "What? What is it? Say hi." "Hi." Because we're going to take him to get cleaned up. And I couldn't stop crying, and I kissed him right here. Well, actually it was on this side, but the way they laid him on my chest. And I went, "I love you," and I kissed right in between his nose and his lip. And then they took him away and they were like, "Come on, Dad, we're gonna go clean him up." So Ever followed them out and I stayed in the room. Obviously, they had to sew me back up. And so they're sewing me back up and it felt like it was taking a lifetime. And for some reason, I just had the urge to sit up. I wanted to sit up so bad. But I couldn't, obviously. I was getting stitched up. So the doctor behind me, I asked him if he could talk to me because Ever had left with the baby and I had no one to keep me calm anymore. And so he was like, "Sure, what do you want to talk about?" And I was like, "I don't know, anything. I'm just nervous and I want to get my mind off this." So he starts telling me about his kids and his wife, and then he actually showed me some pictures and he was like, I am the luckiest man in the world, like my wife is like model status and like my kids could be models. Like, he just honestly thought he was the luckiest man in the world, and I honestly was like, oh my god, that's cute that he absolutely adores his family like that. And so finally we got done talking and he's like, "Okay, you only got 5 more minutes left." So finally they took the curtain down because they put a big curtain. What's wrong? They put a big curtain in front of you so you can't see anything. And they're like, "Okay, Mom, we need you to lean to the side and we're going to put you on this board and we're going to prop you over to the hospital bed." So I leaned over onto my side, and like I said, the table's very thin, so I was afraid I was gonna fall, and they were like, "It's okay, we got you," and they helped me push over to my side because I still had no feeling in me. And they plopped me onto the board and they pushed me onto the hospital bed real quick, and they rolled me out of there into this room where they hooked me up to more IVs. Oh my goodness, you a cranky baby. We're gonna sit him down and hope he comes down. Oh my goodness. And then Ever came in, wheeling in the baby, and they were like, "Okay, you can pick him up and you can give him to Mom if you want." So they handed him to me, and they handed me a bottle, and I got to feed him for the first time that day. Oh my goodness! And I held him pretty much like this. Minus him crying. And then after I fed him, they brought me into a real hospital room. The first room they brought me into was pretty much to just take tests and make sure that all my vital signs and everything with me and the baby were okay. And then they brought me into a hospital room and they taught Ever just how to change the diaper because I couldn't walk yet, and how to feed him and everything. And then that was pretty much it. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. If you have a birth story, tell me. Tell me if you guys had a C-section or if you guys had to push, because honestly I wanted to push, but I am still in shock every day that I went through a C-section and I lived, because I thought I was going to die. But I will see you in my next video. Ready, Boog? See ya!